Welcome to the Sega Lounge, where we celebrate our love for all things Sega, including the games, the music, and the community. I'm your host, KC. Join me as I talk to different guests and learn more about their projects and passion for Sega. Hello and welcome to the Sega Lounge, episode 239. And we are actually live, not recording. We are doing this live on Thursday, the 31st of October in the year of Shadow the Hedgehog, also known as 2024, also known as Fearless.
Right. Indeed.
Right. And this is a very special night. As we all know, it's October 31st, so it means it's the night of Shadow the Hedgehog as well. And Sonic. Yeah. Mostly Sonic.
And Sonic.
And Sonic.
I don't know who that was.
Yeah.
No.
Whoever that is. And you can tell I'm not alone, right? I'm joined by Lime Reversed.
Oh, no, other way.
The other way. Hello. Hi. And Argick. Welcome back.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
That is so way.
Yeah. Hello.
Twitch stars, superstars, I would say. Lime Reversed and Argick here to talk about Sonic X Shadow Generations. And the question is it that good? Is it as good as people are saying?
Yes.
Yep.
End of show. End of episode.
Done.
Spoilers.
End
No,
the episode.
people.
Yeah, go
we,
play.
we want
We don't
people
need
to
to
listen
talk
to
about
the
it
rest of
anymore.
the thing.
That's yes. Bye. Happy that you have listened.
That's it for this episode. Join us next week for episode 240. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining.
That was fast. Which is on brand. But before we get into Sonic X Shadow Generations, just wanted to remind everyone that we have merch and stuff that you can buy to support the show. So if you want to do that, thesegalounge.com/support, and you can buy our 10th anniversary mugs or like the hats and stuff. So yeah, or you can just buy us a coffee and support the show that way if you so want, if you so wish. I will love you forever.
Oh, do you promise?
Forever.
Yes, forever.
Oh, wow. My God.
Okay,
That's
this
a
was
long time.
too close to the mic. Anyway, I apologize for that. But it's time for Sonic X Shadow Generation. So the game has been out, at least for people who bought the limited edition, special thingy, too expensive edition version of the game. Those people, including I assume all of us, have been playing for over a year, a week.
Over a year.
Over a year.
Wow.
Well, that would be an amazing special edition of the game. But no, over a week. For people who bought the regular versions, if you're listening to this live, it's almost a week tomorrow, I believe. And if you're listening to the podcast like later, it's been a week. So I think we've had enough time to play the game, to explore, especially the Shadow Generations part of the game, which is new, right? And we're gonna go into some of the things that make this game a little bit different from the original. What's the same? Our thoughts on it. But be warned, we're probably gonna spoil something about this game. We are trying to be as spoiler-free as humanly possible, but we're probably getting a bit in depth into some of these things. I know we are very passionate about this topic, right? So, and especially my two lovely guests are very passionate about Sonic the Hedgehog and Shadow the Hedgehog. And it's Fearless, the year of Shadow the Hedgehog, so we will probably go a little bit overboard in terms of spoilers. So if that's not what you want, just pause the recording and come back later. Play the game and then come back and listen to our thoughts later.
Pause the
right?
show, go and play the game.
Pause, go
and then come
play,
back and
then
replay.
resume. Yeah, don't stop. Pause, leave it on pause, and then resume. Yeah, that's how it works. Also, a big thank you to people who are watching live. either on Radio Sega or Twitch or our YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us. If somehow we feel like your comments, if we can keep up with comments, which sometimes we don't, we'll mention them as well. But Jamie has a comment that we'll cover in a little bit. But let's start with you guys' thoughts on the game. So Sonic X Shadow Generations, not Cross, not Z or X. It's Sonic X Shadow Generations. That's how to properly pronounce it. Argick's like, what the hell have I gotten into?
You're baiting people.
So overall thoughts. That's the first thing I wrote on in the outline. Overall thoughts. And I wanted to start from the very beginning. So first of all, Sonic Generations, like vanilla Sonic Generations, 2011 Sonic Generations. How do you stand on that? Because I probably have a little bit of an unpopular opinion about that, but I'm gonna let you go first. Argick.
So for me personally, I think the Sonic Generations, the original one, was actually one of the stronger games that came out in a long time. I thought the idea of having classic being 2D and then having modern do the 3D elements, but having the 2D in there was a lot of fun. Like the level designs were amazing. The fact that you played both of them and they were telling this cool story through the generations, like it was something that hadn't been done before. It was a lot of fun. It made classic players happy because the spin dash is overpowered. Okay, it made me happy because the spin dash is overpowered.
Indeed,
And then it made the Boost fans happy with Modern in there as well. It picked fan favorite stages, which were phenomenal. And then there's Planet Wisp. But then the one little bit, the one blemish on the game is Time Meter. Because, man, that boss sucks, and that's all I can say about him.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Yeah,
it does. It still does. By the way, spoilers.
I have heard. I've heard the bad news. I've heard it still sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Lime. What about you?
I mean, Sonic Generations is still my favorite Sonic game. Sonic Frontiers was about to maybe take that first place, but no. Sonic Generations, especially now with the addition of Shadow Generations, I didn't think that I would like classic Sonic. I was a little bit like, what is this? I don't recognize this. What is this? But I love that part too. Like the way that you can just spin dash off a ramp and then just bounce and just basically fly through the stage. Like they've designed it like that, and I love doing that. Like finding those places where you just spin dash and jump, and then you just so much fun. So yeah, it's okay. I love it.
So let me preface this by saying that. When it came out, bear with me. When it came out, I loved it. I thought, like you guys said, it's the best thing to come out in the Sonic franchise in years and ages. I was a little bit disappointed after Sonic Unleashed. I think Sonic Unleashed for me when it came out was a low point in the series. After Sonic Heroes 06, Sonic Unleashed, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I've since
you didn't like Sonic Unleashed either?
No, especially the Werehog stages, and I've since gone back and played it, and it's not as bad as I think I thought it was at the time. But I think it came from a place of frustration and disappointment with the series as a whole for a long time, a long period of time. Sonic Generations was exactly what I think Argick said. Classic fans were happy, modern fans were happy, Boost fans were happy, and it was this big celebration of all things Sonic. And I thought then that it was a really, really, really good game. As I've replayed it through the years, I found myself thinking that, without the nostalgia, without in a more objective way, looking at the game, it's not as flawless as sometimes we make it seem, right?
Yeah.
And so, spoilers for what's coming next in our conversation. I think Shadow Generations highlights those flaws in the original game because it's so much better. But
Oh,
I'm
okay. I
getting
thought
ahead
you
of
were going
myself.
in another
No,
direction there. Okay.
Like
Yeah.
the fact that Shadow Generations is good highlights the flaws of the original Sonic Generations. That's what I think, and why I wanted to like make people aware of how we stood on the original game before we get into this re-release of Generations with this extra like added content. But yeah, but I can say that I think it's a good game. It's not as good as we make it seem, I think, which is like nostalgia like based. It's we all are a little bit like I don't know. I think we can't be objective when we love something very much, right? And when it was so important at a specific point in time for us all, and I think Sonic Generations was that. But objectively speaking, maybe not as good as most people give it credit for. But that's my opinion. Okay, so
And you
podcast
are
at
entitled to that opinion.
thesegalounge.com.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, that's
I
where you
mean,
can send the hate mail.
it does have its flaws. Like I played it. I got back to Sonic Generations because I need to 100% this now as well. And when I got back to Sonic Generations, like the first thing that I noticed that I didn't really, it didn't really bother me the first time, but now when I get back to it, when I boost, Sonic doesn't boost in the way that I'm pressing. Sonic has to actually like physically turn around first. So I can't just press and then boost. Because if I do it too fast without Sonic having turned around, Sonic is going to boost in the other direction. And that's a little annoying. It has
That's one of my gripes with this as well.
I died a little bit. I died many times because of that.
Same with the spin dash. By the way, in classic Sonic, if you're not fast enough, and you just like use the right trigger to or R2 or whatever to spin dash. Or maybe just
yeah. Not as much, but I know what you're talking about. It doesn't happen as much. Like sometimes Sonic is aligned like towards the camera, and if you spin dash, Sonic is gonna spin dash towards the camera, which is kind of a little weird. Yeah. I do though, and I want to just say that I do think that the quality and the likability of Sonic Generations go beyond nostalgia, at least for me.
Okay. No, I'm not saying so. To be like clear here, I'm not saying it's a bad game by any means. No, it's a good game. It's just not as good as I think we like to think it is. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain.
I understand where you're coming from on it. Yeah. Like, I know where you're coming from. It's like, does it deserve the praise that it gets? Some yes, some no. But as you say, it's an opinion. It's a different thing.
Maybe it does. It does deserve praise because it came out in a time where people were like really bashing on 3D Sonic games, and we had Colors, which was well received. I liked it. It was a turning point, I think, for the series. But Generations was miles ahead, I think.
Yeah.
Still flawed, but that's it. I think we tend to overlook the flaws a little bit in terms of like how Generations plays. But it's not a bad game. Not by a long shot. It's a very good game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's how we all stand on that. So I'm the black sheep of this panel of commentators. However, I wanted to ask another thing. How did you receive the news of this re-release? Like Sonic X Shadow Generations? Because we weren't really aware of what it would be, right? We first, I remember correctly, we thought it was just Sonic Generations again.
Yeah, because that's what they showed first in the trailer.
Then they added. They said that they would add Shadow to the mix. Not sure how, but that's what they said, right? How did you receive those news or that news? Lime.
I was, because like they presented the same thing the same way in the trailer, like words,
Those
showing Sonic Generations, and I was looking at it and I was like, is this a remaster? Like, where's the remaster part? Like, I'm not seeing it. What is this? And then Shadow came in, and I was like, holy crap, this looks amazing. I need this now. When is this released? Give it to it. Chaos Control. You can use Chaos Control. I need this. I need this now. That's basically my reaction. It's amazing.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of remember that.
You heard it.
I kind of remember that. Yeah. We talked about this on the show. Yeah. From the beginning, from the get-go. Yeah. What about you, Argick?
So for me, I saw it and I was like, it's like, yo, we're getting a Generations like redo. It's like, it'll actually work on modern PCs. Because if you tried to play Generations back in the day, it wasn't the most stable of games. It liked to crash a lot unless you were playing the console version. Thank God for fan modders who were able to stabilize it and bring it up to spec for modern PCs. I love your work. Please continue making awesome stuff. But like when I saw it, I was initially like, yo, this is cool. Oh, but what are they going to do with all the mods and everything else? And I immediately jumped into the worry of, please don't get rid of the original Generations. There are hundreds of mods. We play these. We love these. Don't get rid of them. Oh, God. So there was worry about that. Then the Shadow stuff dropped, and I immediately just went, my God, it's Edgy the Hedgy. He's back. And it was like, it made sense because Fearless Year of Shadow. And it was a case of, as they went through, it was like, they're showing this, and then they're showing this, and then they're showing another level, and they're showing more. And I was like, I need this. But I was looking at it, and I was going, it's like, wait a minute. This is based on Frontiers, because I was seeing certain animations and certain movements that Shadow was doing. I'm going, oh, this is what they're taking from Frontiers. This is what we're moving on with. Okay, let's see what they're cooking up with it. And just, it was excitement from then on. It's like, all right, I'm down with this. Like, this isn't in the next mainline game. This is them bringing in a remaster of a beloved game and giving us something extra. Then I looked behind and went, wait a minute, they're pulling a Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. That's what they're doing. And they actually did that. And I'm like, yes, that is exactly what they're doing. And it's what they've done. And I was like, thank you. That makes so much sense.
Yeah. It's so much like it that like even the title screen and the way you choose which game to play is exactly the same. So, which I actually can show here. So it's just exactly the same. You choose left to go Sonic Generations, right to go Shadow Generations, and that's it. It's the same thing.
That's all you need.
Exactly. Why like waste time with this when it's just so simple? I personally went from, oh, that's it, to, ooh, I'm really excited. But it took me a while, to be honest. So again, I'm the black sheep of the family. I know. I'm sorry. But I didn't feel like, especially, but your point makes sense now, Argick. I didn't consider like PC gamers. I'm more of a console gamer. So I thought we have Generations on the Xbox Series X and stuff. And so we have like, the frame rate has been updated and stuff. It's been patched.
Got boosted.
It's got boosted, exactly. It looks good. It plays nice. So why bother with this new version? And then as they kept revealing new stuff for Shadow, the excitement grew. And I think like a month or two ago, I finally said, I'm excited to play this day one. I'm all in. Let's go. When is this releasing? Let's go. Yeah. But it took me a while because I'm a little bit more cynical. and that's who I am. Maybe.
It's
Speaking of
understandable.
consoles, then sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, it just says it's understandable. It's the Sonic roller coaster, isn't it? You go up and down and up and down. Like we've been there, we've done it many years, but right now we're on that upward trend. Like I think we're on that upward trend.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going well.
Yeah, it's going well.
But like I can understand the criticism on it. I'm just unapologetically Sonic. I have been since a kid. I stream Sonic for a living. Like I love my Sonic. Like give me it,
Yeah.
I'll play it, and we'll go.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I would have played it anyway, but I wouldn't have been so excited about it if they didn't like reveal stuff the way they did. And I think, again, we've said this like a couple of times in the past few episodes, but Sega have been crushing it in terms of marketing for their games. Sega/Atlas, they have been doing a great job, and that's to be praised, and that's to be highlighted as well. It's not just the quality of the games that have been like it's been increasing, but also the way they market their games, they like promote them. Good job. Thumbs up.
Yeah. I was having like kind of like the same reaction a little bit, and I don't even have the game on console. I have it on PC. I actually didn't know that there were these problems with PC. I have the Steam version, and it just runs flawlessly on my machine. I just
Can I have your
earlier.
PCs? Like, can I have your PCs if it doesn't work? It's like, I mean, to be fair, I do speedrun, and we do things with the games that you're not meant to necessarily meant to do. But it's like, for us, really, the main issues was just like when you tried to put it in full screen and then it moves all your windows around. And when you're in the middle of a live stream, you're like, why did you move everything? I had them perfectly where I needed. And it's basically just, it was showing its age was the issues that we were having. But there were things like mods that people made that were like Direct 9 upgrade enhancer or DirectX 11 enhancer that would allow you to do things like borderless full screen where the game just runs. So it's like not having to use any of those, just playing it flawlessly at a buttery smooth 120 FPS. Like that, I'm surprised about. Getting technical for a second, I'm surprised Shadow Gens runs at 120. Like that's amazing.
Amazing.
But it's like, yeah, it's to go back to your point of just like Sega promoting things. Oh, their animations are so damn good. Like, ever since Mania, they've done Mania, they've done Team Sonic Racing Overdrive, they've had Chow in Space, they've had the Frontiers Emergence ones, they've now had this. It's like, they're so damn good. They're a really good way to get everybody invested, honestly.
Yeah.
The shadow animation recently. Wow. That was amazing. So good.
And actually, JB was asking a question that maybe you, Lime, can answer, because I don't have the PS5 version. If any of you played it on PlayStation, did you download the Dark Beginnings DLC and watch that version? It's got bonus scenes.
On the PlayStation version. Is that what you said? Yeah, I don't have it on PlayStation.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you had. Okay.
No, I had PC is what I said.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So yeah, I have Xbox, so no. I don't know, Jamie. Sorry. Can't help you there, but probably it really has those bonus scenes. I remember that there's exclusive like content for PlayStation 5. I do remember that. Yeah, when they announced like the pre-orders or such. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so quick question. Is the hype worth it?
I think so. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm also biased. Sonic Generations was already my favorite Sonic game, so.
Yeah, but that would make it you harder to convince, maybe, because you already had a good game. If they just re-released the same game without anything else, or if the added content was crap, right?
Shadow Generations is worth the hype. Sonic Generations is, to me, a re-release, and like it's still good, but that maybe it doesn't really deserve hype re-releasing a game. Like it's awesome that more people get to play it. Like I want more people to play it. So yeah, I figure that those who had issues with the PC now are happy that they have a way to play it, and that's something definitely to be happy about.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I agree. I think the hype is real and it's worth the hype. But again, Shadow Generations is where it's at. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's worth it
indeed.
because of that.
If you're
for
buying
sure.
this, you're buying this for Shadow Generations. Like, let's
Yeah.
be honest, you're buying
Yeah.
it for the new stuff.
Yeah.
Buy this Stone. Like, it's like that meme. I don't know if any of you saw the meme that was out there, but it was the case of Sonic X Shadow Generations is presented to you. You open up the case, and inside there is actually the box art for Shadow the Hedgehog 2. Because that's basically what we've
Yeah.
got. Is that
Mm.
this is Shadow the Hedgehog 2, okay? And we're all just like, yes, please, Sega. Thank you, Sega. We love you. Because that's why you buy it. Like, I'll be fully honest here before it gets brought up later on. I've not even started the Sonic Generations part yet. I have not loaded it up at all. I know there's extra things in there. I know it's available. I've been straight into the Shadow Generation side. Like, that is 100% complete. We are speedrunning that. We are enjoying it. But the pure Sonic side, I've not even had a look in yet.
Right. I saw you really enjoying the winged shadow.
Oh,
Indeed.
Yeah, so let's get into that. Shadow Generations, which is like the meat of this, right? It's what's new, so it's what people really want to know about. So it's really good, right? So let's get that out of the way. It's really good. It's worth it.
Now let's move
So-
on to Sonic Generations.
So getting Sonic X Shadow Generations just for the Shadow part is worth it. I think it's even worth like the price of the full game, the full price of the game. It's that
It's
good.
basically its own game. Like it's like
Yeah.
75% of Sonic Generations for heaven's sake. So
yeah. There's a decent
Is it?
amount. And it's
depending on what you want to do, if you want to 100% it,
Yeah.
or if you just want to play through the story,
you have a lot of
it
extra
really
stuff.
depends.
You have a lot
Yeah.
of extra stuff. That's true. Yeah, I would say Sonic Generations just like think a little bit more like 60-40 maybe. I don't know. Jamie says 50-50. I don't know. In terms of like
I would not
maybe.
say 50-50. I would definitely not say 50-50.
No. Okay.
I would very much disagree with that.
Okay. So Jamie, Lime disagrees with you. So is it more Shadow than Sonic for you in terms of content, or the other way around?
No, it's like if we talk about the story, like there are 9 stages in Sonic Generations, right? And there are 6 stages in Shadow Generations, so it's not 50%.
So yeah, that's why I would.
Yeah.
So you're agreeing with me? Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Thank
But there are more extra challenges in Sonic Generations and less challenges in Shadow Generations. So if you want 100% it, then it's a little less.
Yeah.
But if you just want to finish the story, then it's about 75.
Now I'm confused, but okay.
I was just saying, I'm confused on the
I'm
numbers
very confused.
as well.
I get
you're
what you're saying something, but the numbers are
don't
wrong.
make
Okay,
sense.
exactly. But it's okay. It's okay. Either way, it's got a lot of content, right? So it's got a lot of content. It's worth to get the game. Worth it to get the game because you're not like gonna run out of Shadow content anytime soon. So I wanted to like ask
Okay,
you
it's
guys.
66. Okay, it's not 75, it's 66. I just did the math. Like if you take 6 divided by 9, it's 66%. Okay.
Yeah.
I just did like
Okay.
a rough estimate, but okay. Fine. 66%.
Maths.
If you only go
We
by the
love
stages.
math.
Yeah. But so what is it about Shadow Generations? So what if you could only pick one thing? What's your favorite thing about Shadow Generations? Argick, putting you on the spot right now.
Only one
Only
thing?
one. You can choose
Honestly,
3.
okay. One, if I'm allowed only one thing
Only
from
one.
Shadow Generations that makes me enjoy it a lot, stage length. They have given 3D Sonic games that follow the stage formula that isn't open zone. They are finally a decent length. Each of the stages, your first time playing through them, anywhere between like 4 to 7 minutes playing through it. Wonderful. Many different routes to explore, loads of different secrets to try and uncover. They are just a blast to play through. They are a nice length. You aren't just going, I'm putting it under the bus, but you don't just go into forces and hold the boost button. You've actually got to play the stages, and it's so good for it. And it's in all the stages, and that's what I think the best thing is.
Got it. Agreed. Lime.
I would say
Best
the
thing.
power-ups. I would
The
say
power
the
ups.
power-ups.
Okay.
I absolutely love using a chaos control. I love how they use it. Like you can just like it, especially in the first stage, you see a lot of missiles like going towards each other, and then you freeze them there. Now it's a bridge, and you can run up to something. It's amazing. I want to see more of that. Even
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
awesome.
Oh, and by the way, I forgot to say it again, but remember, spoiler alert, right? Spoiler alert. So if you don't want spoilers, run away, run away.
Yeah.
We'll try to keep it as spoiler free as possible, but we will fail miserably. Yeah. Speaking of like the simple fact that when Shadow like does his homing attack, the fact that he just disappears and like
Right,
teleports.
warps. Ah,
It's just like
yes.
war. Yeah,
It's amazing. That's amazing. It's just a simple detail, but it's so good.
Oh, speaking of details, like in Kingdom Valley, when Shadow just flies off over the waterfall,
Mhm.
basically doing what I can only describe as a backwards swan dive right onto and then just land on the ground later. Just details like that. Just like, yes, I love it.
Yeah, yeah. My favorite thing, I think, is the way it's. This is very specific. It's like the way the stages are built. The camera, like the perspective. The camera is not too zoomed in, and it's a little bit like it's more zoomed out than usual for 3D Sonic stages, and you can actually see the different kinds of shortcuts that you can take, and like you don't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to like go back anytime usually in like a 3D Sonic stage. If you want to get all the secrets, you have to come back and like try to like move the camera around a little bit to see if there's like a balloon hidden or some sort of spring that you missed somewhere around the stage. And this time it's a little bit more like zoomed out, and you can see the different routes that you can take and the different shortcuts that you can take to get to different parts of the stage. That for me is just brilliant, and it's such a simple thing in concept, but I don't know if that's very easy to implement. Maybe not, because I think it's the first time that it's so good in any kind of 3D Sonic game that I remember, at least. So that's my favorite thing, and it improves the gameplay so much.
agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like you can you are still going fast, but you are still able to make decisions on. Oh, I can go there.
Yeah.
And I think that
indeed.
ties into something else that's really cool. Just a quick aside. You can explore a lot more than you think you can in those levels.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful. Like
Yeah.
they've really taken the idea of open zone and just, yes, no, if you think you can go somewhere, try it. You might be surprised.
Yeah. No, that's it. And the fact that you can, it's so fast. You don't lose the sense of speed at all. I think it's the opposite. You actually feel more faster than in other levels of their games. But you can actually make decisions. You can like actually like choose where to go. You have the time to think and without losing any speed, without sacrificing the speed. So that's brilliant. Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this, because this was really lacking in other games. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm really disappearing in the game.
Yeah. We're losing
so,
Lime. We're
like,
losing
to
Lime.
me, I'm just very blurry. Yeah.
Yeah, your connection
Like,
is probably not great.
can we also talk? Yeah, like,
No,
can you hear me at least?
Yeah.
No,
Maybe we'll give it a few moments to see if your
not well.
connection stabilizes. Yeah. Before we get on to other
That's
things
where I
that we
turn
like,
on.
least favorite thing, Argic. Nothing.
Oh,
Everything's amazing.
No, it is not. It is not a perfect game. It is not flawless. A perfect Sonic game does not exist. And I know I've said that, people will be mad at me. No, for me, it is a spoiler, so I will give people a
Okay.
chance to not listen to it.
Mhm.
But for me, it's one of the Doom powers. I am not the biggest fan of Morph. Love the concept of it. The execution kind of it takes away from the speed that the game gives you, and it's not necessarily a bad power. I'm just not the biggest fan of it, and the way that it's utilized in the levels. Some of the challenge levels, pretty cool.
Yeah.
But if I can get away with in the main levels of just not using it, I won't use it.
Yeah. Agreed. And now that we have Lime back, least favorite
Oh,
thing.
hello.
Lime.
Hello. It's a good question. The first thing that comes to mind, and I'm not sure if this is just like because I've played so many Sonic games by now, that it's a bit easy. I'm getting S ranks like on my first tries several times, and that might
Yeah.
not be good.
Yeah. I can agree with that. Yes. I don't feel like it is easy, but I think it's like but it's so satisfying though.
It
right?
is, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it
definitely.
controls
I
so
agree with that.
well. It plays so well. It's like so beautiful, and you feel so good, like pulling off all the moves, that I don't mind it being less hard and getting S ranks as easily. Because I don't really care about that. I'm just having a lot of fun. I said this multiple times, but games should be about having fun, right?
Yep.
And different people have fun doing different things. Some people have fun breaking the games and speedrunning them. That guy over there. Other people like a good challenge, like a very hard game that they can beat and feel satisfied about themselves. I feel like the gameplay of this portion of the game is just chef's kiss. It's exquisite.
Yeah.
It's really,
Yeah.
really. I think it's the best that Sonic Team has ever pulled off in a 3D Sonic game.
Yeah, I mean, like when it comes to easy, like I guess I'm not meaning that the stages themselves should be more difficult, but maybe if you want to S rank a stage, then maybe that S rank should be a little bit more challenging than like, oh yeah, I did it.
You have to be faster, maybe like
first try.
finish.
Yeah, like make that more of a challenge.
Okay.
Like decrease the time for what that S rank means. Like it kind of it's like
no, it makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah,
make it a little bit more challenging to actually be very good. If you want to be good, like if you want to get an A rank, it's fine. But if you want to get like the extra step into the S rank, like lower the or increase
so then people who just want to have fun and just like go through the stage, they can do that. The people who want to S rank it probably should take a little more.
Okay, makes sense.
They do though add hard mode.
Yeah.
So like there are
Doom Zone,
hard,
right?
Yeah. Yes, there are hard challenges. Like you can't do it in the stages, unfortunately. But there are definitely challenges, and then the bosses that you can do in hard mode, and that's been more up my alley.
Okay, makes sense. My least favorite part of Generations. I'm torn, to be honest. But I'm gonna say the later stages that they went with. But it's a little bit like what Jamie said. So Jamie said, and again, spoilers, and this is a very long comment, but he said, I've got to quickly point out my only disappointment with Shadow Generations is that there's a lack of Shadow the Hedgehog levels. How can you do a year of Shadow, give him his own section and not include a level from his own game? Maybe replace Chaos Island with a Shadow level. This is very fast. I'm sure they could have...
was a real surprise. Like
what?
I was surprised.
I
was surprised they went with Chaos Island with a Shadow.
Doesn't really make much sense, does it? No. I think the weaker levels are the ones that don't make sense. So my least favorite levels, again, spoilers, Sunset Heights and Chaos Island. But
Why
maybe
does
Okay.
I need
Sunset
to I
Heights
need to
not? Why
replay
does
them a little bit more, maybe. I
Argick
feel
why
like
do you
agrees.
believe?
Yeah.
Why do you believe that Sunset Heights doesn't make sense?
No, I see it makes sense because you had Shadow content for Sonic
Yeah.
Forces, okay, yeah. But I'm not really a particularly big fan of Shadow the Hedgehog, but it would have made more sense to have Westopolis or
Oh yeah, no,
I
agreed.
would have loved
Yeah.
one of those digital I can't remember the
Digital
names.
Dimension.
Yeah, those one of
Like,
those
a
would
digital
have been
circuit, I think.
Digital
or something
Circuit,
Matrix.
yeah. I think there are two of them, right?
Yeah.
And I would have loved one of those, or like
I was thinking about that as
mixture
well.
of the two somehow, or that would have been really crazy and really amazing. I feel like it would have made more sense than Chaos Island, especially Sunset Heights doesn't make much sense to me either. But I can see it. You know, it's Shadow was there, but give me like really proper Shadow levels. If you just wanted to add more content, go back to Shadow the Hedgehog, Sky Troops. I mean, something like
Right.
that.
A lot of people have mentioned
again.
Sky Troops. Like,
Sky
a
Troops.
lot
I
of
can
people
just- I
really
can
like that
already
level.
hear
I
the
think Sky
music.
Troops. I think is. I think it's mostly because of like the vibe of the level and the music. I don't think it's a particularly good stage, but it's iconic. So do something like that, or maybe even instead of have like the Space Colony arc be just Final Rush. Do something like inside the colony, like in Shadow the Hedgehog, one of those levels, like
no,
inside.
we're not bringing
no?
Lost and back. No,
Okay.
take that back. We're not doing that. I've already hunted for those 25. We're not doing that again.
What about Cosmic Fall?
Cosmic Fall would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mainly because we'd get Vector coming back going, find the computer room.
Yeah. Indeed.
Oh, I missed that. Dork. He's a big dork. No, I fully agree with you on that. Like, Chaos Island is an interesting one. I'm not going to spoil for it because we don't want to spoil everything here, but it is explained why. Go find out. And I thought that's an interesting way of them tying that in there. But Chaos Island is explained in the game as to why it's a level.
Is
Interesting.
it
I don't
like
remember
the
that.
diary?
It's the dialogue. You've got to go looking for it.
Dialogue or the diary? The journal. Sorry.
It's dialogue in the game.
It's dialogue.
I've not looked at the diary. I don't have that yet because my physical copy isn't here yet.
No. But you can collect the pages in game.
Oh no,
right?
I've done that. I just refuse to look. I want to look at the physical one. That's what I'm doing. But yeah, no, there is
interesting.
dialogue in game.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yes,
I
it
mean,
is explained. It's very interesting.
I played the story and I must have missed that.
It's
like
optional
extra
story.
Okay, yeah.
Speak to the characters
To
around
the characters,
White
yeah.
Space.
Oh,
I would assume
okay,
that.
might be why.
That would be.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you. I personally, I thought Westopolis was the level that we were seeing in all the promotional art and whatnot. Especially when you see like the foldy buildings in that.
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh my god, that's Westopolis. Turned out, not the case. Part of it, Radical Highway, as we know and we love. Yes, let's go Radical Highway. But it wasn't Westopolis, and I'm like, I feel like they missed a trick there. I also personally think, why didn't we get the comet? Why didn't we get like on that? Oh, look, there you go. Yeah, like you see that, and it's like, but like you see the buildings in the background there. I originally like there's just massive skyscrapers. I'm like, yo, that's totally going to be Westopolis, and it's like it wasn't. It's Radical Highway. No, it's radical as heck. It's great, but it's like, where's Westopolis? Like, where's the shadow levels? Where's the tie into his game? Now, it makes sense. There's a lot of SA2 in here because Sonic Adventure 2 was the game we first saw Shadow in, right? So technically, that's his first game. But it's like, they gave him a solo game, get some levels in there. What I would say, game is a success. People are enjoying it. Hopefully, Sega, you're working on whatever's next, and we get it like 2 years down the line or something. But I've heard a rumor that Sega would like to do like annual yearly releases. Do I think they can pull that off? I'd rather they didn't. I'd rather they spent more time and made things good and gave us good releases every 2 years rather than forcing it annually.
Yeah, very much
Give us a
agree.
shit. Give us, you did it once with Generations and you missed out. The original Generations should have had amazing DLC with different level packs. A modern level pack, a classic level pack.
Yes.
A classic one, a Dreamcast era, a modern era. They didn't do that. Shadow Gens, if it is as popular as we want it to be, and we think it is, it sold 1 million within the first week. If there is a chance, Shadow the Hedgehog level pack DLC. Yes, please.
I would buy the heck out of those.
Yeah,
DLC.
yeah,
right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I would be right there with
Would
it.
you prefer that or Shadow the Hedgehog 2?
If they were giving us an official Shadow the Hedgehog 2 that wasn't this, I would prefer a full Shadow the Hedgehog 2. But if they're already working on something and need something to tide us over, DLC. Or what they were doing for the longest time, but then stopped with Superstars, Shadow Generations Plus.
Okay.
What's the plus DLC? It's plus a couple extra levels.
Yeah. Would you mind, because I have a question about Shadow Generations for you guys, and that's probably, it's not a criticism because it's not a bad thing, but it's an interesting thing. I feel like Shadow Generations, the way we play as Shadow and all the powers that obviously by the end of the game they'll be gone, right? For the future, somehow, probably. Unless somehow they come back as wisps or whatever. But isn't Shadow like painted to be much cooler and very more powerful than Sonic? Of course, he's the ultimate life form, but in Sonic Adventure 2, for example, they were like equals.
Right.
There's even a point in this game, in the story, that where they cross paths and Shadow says, "Oh, I refuse to face him on not equal grounds," right?
It was so
That
good.
was really good, and it was a very cool way to like make what happens in the Sonic Generations part canon and why explain why it happens. It was really, really cool. The story is very, very well implemented, I have to say. Like how everything happens and ties together. Hats off to Ian Flynn for that, because good job.
Very much.
But I feel like Shadow is much cooler than Sonic after this game and much more powerful and stuff. Have they ruined Sonic for everyone?
For me personally, you go first, Lives.
I had that thought actually before I even played the game. Like, okay, so now they are basically going to have Sonic gameplay, but with power-ups. So then when you go back to Sonic, is that going to be as fun? Because it's going to be that, but without the power-ups. So I definitely had that thought, like if they continue that route. I'm not there yet that I feel like, oh yeah, there's no use playing Sonic. I definitely have loads of fun doing it, but there's a risk there. I can see that.
Because I feel like even without the Doom powers, Shadow feels a little bit more overpowered in this game. Slightly, or maybe it's just me. I don't know.
So personally, I think it's a case of they've handled it really nicely in the story, at least from what I'm piecing together on the story, my interpretation of the story on it. Obviously, man's got his inhibitor rings, right? Like, we've seen what happens when he takes those off. We've seen 06. I mean, it got written out the timeline, so Shadow don't remember, but we all remember. And like, it is a case of he is definitely strong. And in this game, it is painting him as he is growing. And that's the thing about this, is that he is growing in strength. He is growing in power. But it also shows that the rivalry that he has with Sonic is like, it's a good one. Like, it's a proper rivalry of, no, I want to fight you. I want to beat you on equal ground, on your own, like basically on equal terms for us. I think right now, Shadow would definitely be the stronger of the two, but I also don't think Sonic's fully tried against him. I don't think Shadow has pushed Sonic to his limit with the two of them going at it with each other. They have this mutual respect, but neither of them have went truly toe to toe. And I would love to see that. I think that would be amazing.
It would.
I've always felt like Shadow has had the, well, pun not intended, but the edge.
Yeah.
When it, because like in Sonic Adventure 2, like sure they had all the same moves, but Shadow had the chaos control and Sonic did not.
Which Sonic also sort
learned
of
at
pulled
the
off,
end.
right?
Yes.
They still got to explain that, to be honest. Like they got to explain that a little bit. I get it. Chaos control allows you to freeze time, but like he teleported, you gotta but they also mentioned that in Shadow Gens, which is cool. Like near the start, not gonna say anything, that is something we don't want to spoil.
It's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler. It's at the beginning.
Fine,
the way they set up something with the fake Chaos Emerald. It's
just like it's right there. You're like, yo, look what you brought. And I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
so
like, I think the two of them. I'd love to see a battle of the two of them actually going at it with each other, like proper, because we've never had that yet. We've never, because like in SA2, you're like, oh, he's stronger. Yeah, but he's also doubting himself there. Whereas in this, now he's not. And it's like, now you realize you're like, oh, okay. So I'll be curious to see where they go with this. Like, what is Shadow the Hedgehog 2 going to be? What is Shadow 3? Because like, to me, this is Shadow the Hedgehog 2. Like this is taking that story from Shadow 1 and going, here's your next part of Shadow's story.
Yeah.
You will feel for this hedgehog, whether you like it or not.
You will. Yes. I can attest to that. Yes. I was, as a cynical person, and a jaded person, I felt for Shadow. Yeah. It broke my heart a little bit. Yeah.
I don't remember any other Sonic game making me cry, but with this game, it actually did happen.
Oh man, the kiss, so romantic. When Elise just,
I hate you. I'm so glad that's written out of the cat. Like, oh.
Also, a mountain of handkerchiefs. That was touching.
That did make me cry. Actually, I forgot about that.
I think I shed a tear, like a manly tear. Yeah, I think so.
That did. I mean, screw that for me. I'm just like crying, and I'm proud of it.
Yep, quite right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely cried at that. Yes, that is true. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Okay, so very quickly, let's run through the powers. We've talked about the powers. So Doom Spears, Doom Blast, Doom Surf, Doom Morph, and Doom Wing, right? I think Argick already said Doom Morph. Yeah, doesn't do it for him. Is Doom Wing the best? I mean,
it's fun.
It's fun.
It's absolutely going into speedrunner territory at the moment. It's broken as all heck. Is what it is. Like, I'll give kudos to the level designers again with like the openness of having levels run through with Wing. You're effectively playing an entirely different stage. Well played. Like it's very nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I would say my favorite would be the Chaos Spear.
Yeah,
the way that they use it in the gameplay, like you can't there are parts where you can't just the homing attack your way through, but like you fly to you basically you see the enemies, you basically fly over them, not fly as in Doom Wings, but like you're in the air, and then you go like, oh, these have a thing, so I can't just homing attack them. I have to first use the spear thingy. It's like I had to first do that, and then then I can do that. Like that level of like giving it that little more complexity, and it feels so awesome to do. Like when I do that, I feel so powerful to do that. Like just like Chaos Spear on it. Now you are homing attacked, and now who else? Oh, all you three. I'm going to have like all you three at the same time and just continue ahead. I love how they used it.
I'm trying to find footage of the spears.
It's the
Yeah.
happy flappy chappy.
Oops, spoilers. You collect stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I think Chaos Spears, Doom Spears is like, yeah, look at that. You have to collect rings, and you can just use the spears as you move, so you don't have to stop. It's just like very cool implementation of this. It's like,
Yeah.
and
That's
it
what makes it
opens
really
up.
good.
Yeah, it opens up the game as well. And this is a little bit of the white space for Shadow Generations. So as you move along, you unlock stuff and see more things.
What was the name of the going over water power again?
The surf?
The surf.
Doom
Right,
surf?
right. Yeah.
It's HMO5, yeah.
Yeah. I do like the concept in the hub world. Like, okay, so we're gonna put water here, so we're gonna like limit the gamer a little bit, like until they unlock the power up. Now we can move further into other spaces. Like that concept, I do like. So I like the function of it, definitely.
Jamie's saying something that I also experienced. I had some control issues with Doomwing. He says, "Yeah, it's not the easiest to control, but I think maybe you're trying to do stuff that you're not supposed to do with Doom Surf. Oh, Doomwing, sorry, with Doomwing."
For the longest time, I didn't realize that the flight was connected to your boost, so I just stopped flying suddenly, and I was like, "What happened here? Was that just an invisible wall, or what was it?"
It's it's a little bit on rails, right? So because you when you boost, or is it glide? I think no. What did they call it when you like press the boost, the trigger?
Yeah, it's like when you're flying, yeah.
But it's like you go basically in a straight line, I think, right? Or you go up.
I think you slowly go down a little bit, right?
Go down.
Like it's
okay.
It's not like. Yeah, I think it's like a little like glide. Like you very slowly go down. Like it's not Knuckles level of glide, but like I think you go down a little bit, right?
Probably, but because you lose a little bit of control because you're like more you move more in a straight line, I think, and you probably go a little bit like down because you're not Knuckles levels of gliding, but you're gliding and going down a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
So maybe that's you don't like have full control, like move wherever you want and go up and down and stuff, up and down and all around. You can only
down and all around.
It's like a little bit on railsy, if that makes sense, but not really as well. So you just have to probably get used to it, I think. Yeah. Doom Surf also. If you run into a wall or something, it's very hard to sometimes get back to the path you were going in.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, right? If you crash into something or hit a wall or something, if you're trying to find like one of those gears that you have to collect to give to Qbot and Orbot, like it's over there. Okay, so I have to turn it. Oh no. Okay, let's try again. And it's like very hard to have precise control of Doom Surf.
You don't have precise control on Surf. Is the problem. I understand why they've done it the way they've done it. I do like you can hold back to slow down. Many of us probably haven't done that, but it is one of those things where it's like, no, the moment you hit a wall, it's like you're doing this some kind of Tony Hawk level kickflip.
Yeah. What's up with that?
And you're like, oh, that's not.
Yeah.
It's still fun to use though.
You can do like a 180 turn, but definitely not when you have speed. Like it's basically when you go very slowly.
My favorite thing about the abilities, to be honest, is not exactly how they are implemented in the main stages, but it's how you use them in the open zone, like the white
Yeah, and white
space.
space.
And
Yeah.
the challenges. I feel like the challenges, more than in Sonic Generations case, in Shadow Generations, the challenges are training for the abilities in a few cases. Like you're learning how to use the abilities, and they're like catered towards using the
Yeah.
abilities, and that's very cool, I think,
Yeah,
because
I agree with that.
it's not like I don't know, like that's your doppelganger, Sonic. You need to beat your doppelganger to the goal. Okay, I know, but this is more interesting and more fun to me than.
Okay, hold on. I feel like there's a little bit we need to bring up there, right? Casey, how do you feel about Omo Chow? I feel. Are you okay? Do you need us to get rid of Omo Chow for a
Omo
bit?
Chow is not the most annoying character in this game. We'll get there.
wow.
We'll get
Ooh.
there
Ooh.
at the end.
Ooh, damn.
It's the thing in red in the outline. I'll get to that. It's the
You'll
last
get to that
thing.
later. Okay. Okay.
Look
that's
at
fine.
the outline. That's the most annoying thing. But we'll get there. People are
I
like,
do want to
what?
get to like talking about the white space as well. We can,
Okay.
we're on the
Oh,
power
Yeah.
up.
Please do.
Oh yeah. Because like it's a hub world, right? And basically,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I've never ever been a fan of the hub worlds. I just want to go to the stages. I don't want to like take time looking for the stages. But in Shadow Generations, first time I really enjoyed it, and so they really knew what they were doing there. Like they really like learned lessons from Sonic Frontiers. And by the way, looking at how this is, like you can really see like a beginning of all this in Sonic Generations already. Like it's this, just it's 3D and things added to it. Like
Mhm.
you need to like go through some obstacles to get to the stage, and it's in a fun way. And here they've also added like you need to find bolts if you want 100% the game. There are challenges to do as well. Things that, by the way, like we were talking about length before and comparing Sonic Generations with this, Sonic Generations didn't have these
Mhm.
things. So that's like another thing, and that's why I said that it depends on if you just want to do the story or 100% the game. If you just want to do the story, you're not going to do these things. So then it doesn't matter. But if you want 100% it, then that counts, and that's something that Sonic Generations doesn't have. And so I just really love how they do this. It's like basically like a little opposite of Sonic Frontiers in the way that the main world there was like this huge thing in Sonic Frontiers, and then there were bite-sized stages, like action stages that you go through. Here, that world is smaller, but the action stages are longer. So like, can
Which
we
is
find a
good.
balance? Can we find a balance there? That would be interesting.
I wouldn't mind this format going forward, but I don't think that's what's going to happen, to be honest. I think they're gonna keep at it with the frontiers.
Right.
Yes, please.
One huge problem that I had with
Oh.
Sonic Frontiers was that it was a little bit like, and I said this before, like mixing oil and water together. Like there were elements that didn't really fit together. Like we had the island, but then we had the puzzles, and those were like platforms that didn't look like anything. And I know that other people also felt like this. Here, Shadow Generations, they nailed it. This is exactly what they should do. Everything feels like a part of the world, and it's still like these amazing, fun like puzzles on how you get to where you need to go. Yes, this is exactly the direction I think that they should go when they if they do like a sequel to Sonic Frontiers, or when they take this concept further. Please
And no
continue
pop
in that
in.
direction.
And no pop in whatsoever.
Yeah,
I know
there's no
it's
pop-ins
I know
now.
it's very
Yes.
small or much smaller, but still, you actually move around. It's not that small, so you actually move around and you don't get any pop in whatsoever.
Yeah, so you can actually see now and plan your route just looking around, which is the whole point of the thing. So yes, more of this, please.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I do agree with you. Like, I think they've learned. Like, I stand by Frontiers is the foundation of what Sonic is going to be going forward.
Yeah,
They've
for
taken
sure.
lessons from that, pushed it into Shadow Generations, and they have nailed it. Like, you can tell some of the animations that have Shadow jump off a rail. You know it's the stuff from Frontiers. Like, we know, we can see it. But
how he like when he gets hit. Like
yeah,
the
when
way
gets
he
knocked
loses
back.
loses rings as well. That's Frontiers.
Yeah, I'll admit I've tried to parry many times.
Yes.
Parry
Yeah.
doesn't exist, and I hate it.
Nope.
But it is like you've taken like it's all merged into like what you would expect in a Sonic world. It looks good. You've got the loop-de-loops in that in there, going at high speeds and everything else. They've done a lot with it. Do I think that's how they're going to go going forward? I don't think so. I think this is more going to be like a sub game. Like this will be like a secondary type of thing for them to fall back on if they needed to do a smaller scaled game to tide people over to whatever the next big adventure is going to be. What does the big adventure look like? I'm hoping an expansion on what we've had here with Shadow. Like, absolutely. The one thing that I will say, if you are going to make me do a fetch quest, 1, spoilers, I won't say it. 2, actually make it where we can see them. There are many of the bolts and the nuts that we were trying to find where the camera didn't load them in because either the field of view was not near enough and it obscured it, so you never saw it, or it was hiding behind whatever geometry was there and you just never saw it. Now, hide behind the geometry, you could say that's on the player. They didn't turn the camera. They didn't see it. Some of the ones that I was missing, literally out in the middle of nowhere. Why? Like, I passed by this area 6 times. How didn't I see it? I was going too fast. It didn't load in time. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
So, like, doing the collectathons and that, cool, fine. Other little gripe, cool boxes, treasure boxes. Loved it. That's where your puzzles are coming in. Your puzzles are rewarding you. You found this area. Go do this puzzle. You're rewarded with a chest. The chest will have loot. Enjoy. Loved going around doing all those because the open world, the white space, it was basically, hey, this is a giant playground. This is a playground, but it's your hub world and it's your tutorial, plus there's some extra hidden things. If you want to do more hidden things, I'm all good. For the love of all that is holy, give us a map. And I don't mean the map that says your treasure chests only show up if you've been literally next to them. Like, they only appear if you've been able to interact.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't show up on the map until you've basically interacted with them. Whereas it's like, no, if I've seen it, even in a distance, let it pop up again. And it didn't quite do that. Or just give us a radar. Bring us back the SA2 radar and just have it go ping, 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 ping. Like, make it an optional thing. Like, give us an optional thing that's just like, hey, this person's giving us the quest to go out and do that.
Unlock a skill, beat the game, unlock that skill that allows you to see where everything is or something, or at least like a radar, like left or right or something like that. Like directions.
It was all good. Like, it was enjoyable, and I would be very curious to see what's next from this. But I personally think this would be secondary game thing rather than natural progression into next thing. I still think Frontiers with its scale is where they want to go rather than a more contained adventure that Shadow is.
For sure. I feel like this this model of releasing like a big, like, proper mainline game, 3D game that is, every 4 to 5 years. And then in between those, have maybe a classic Sonic game, and maybe a remaster with added content that builds into what you're trying to do with the mainline game. Because I feel like Sonic Frontiers, like Lime said, had Sonic Generations, the white space started in Sonic Generations. They build upon that with Shadow Generations. This is a much wider and 3D white space. But obviously, the foundation of this is Frontiers and the open zones of Frontiers, and they do the same thing just better, which is great. So take what you learned from Shadow Generations and implement that in Frontiers 2 or whatever that is going to be next. So if they can do this and use like these remasters or re-releases or like smaller scale games to somehow perfect the system and use that to improve the next mainline game, I feel like that's a winning formula for them.
Yeah.
Not counting the 2D, the classic Sonic games that they could work in between as well. And that's money.
So something that Argick said that I want to also build on is, if you're going to have a challenge that is going to take me through the white space, like, chase a clock or whatever, so that I end up somewhere completely different. If I fail, take
Send
me back.
Yes.
So that I can redo it.
Yes.
They did that in Sonic Frontiers. So I don't know why they didn't do that here, but it would be awesome if I could just retry it.
Yeah.
If I don't want to retry it, maybe I can choose that. But
because sometimes you have to run through loops and rails and stuff and springs to get to the challenge, to the beginning point of the challenge. And then the clock or whatever takes you all the way to the other side of the map. And if you want to retry it, you have to go back.
Yes.
And you don't even remember how you got there in the first place. So yeah. Agreed. Okay, so we're not just like nitpicking a little bit, but it's important.
I really don't think that's
but it's not like a deal breaker or anything.
Yeah, it's not a deal breaker, but it's definitely like a very welcome quality of life thing.
Yeah. Just wanted to point out that Jamie said, "Forget a classic Sonic game. Give me a second attempt at an RPG." And Argick responded with Sonic Shuffle 2, please. Let's leave it at that. Okay. I would love to see like a better, proper good Sonic party game. No, better than Sonic Shuffle 2. Bring back the multiplayer.
Sonic Shuffle 3.
Yes. Bring back the multiplayer, the party game section of Sonic and the Secret Rings.
That was fun. It was Shuffle,
fun.
though. That's what those mini games were. Those games were Shuffle.
With songs like Purple Pants. Those are the actual names of the songs. Purple Pants and Yellow Jacket or whatever. Maybe not. But Purple Pants, I think, was one of them. So, yeah. Anyway, Shadow Generations. Worth it or not, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yay or nay?
Yeah.
Yay?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
absolutely.
definitely.
5 thumbs up. This is my... No, I have 5. No.
Thumbs.
Just 2.
Thumbs up. I understand, yes.
I understand, he says. Okay. So that's Shadow Generations. In short, go play the game, get this game, because Shadow Generations is worth it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even, like Jamie is saying, even IGN ggave this game a 9 out of 10.
Right.
Which is amazing.
Indeed.
Even
right? Like IGN.
Jada forget her last name, but she gave the game a 9 out of 10. So it's good, apparently. Okay, let's get into Sonic Generations briefly, because it hasn't changed that much. You still have the same stages. You still have the red rings for each stage, classic and modern. You still have the challenges as well. Same bosses, same everything. One quick change, or no small changes. Now you have Chow to collect from each stage. 3 Chow to collect in each stage, classic and modern.
Yeah.
For a grand total of, is it 54? I think it's 54 Chow. Don't quote me on that, but yeah.
I can do the math there as well. 3.
No, no, no more math.
Please no. 65% of okay. The square root of 65. So you can
There are
collect
9
show.
stages, and then times 2 because there are 2 acts. So
18.
18 times 3. That's the number.
Okay, that's 54 for sure. So it's basically the same game. Argick, you haven't played it.
I've not played it. Like I know there's the chow, I know there's the drop dash, I know there's the revised script. I know
Okay.
Time Eater is the same, and they've got that silly achievement of not getting hit by him. It is easier than you think, I promise. But no, I've not played it, so I do not have any. I will get round to it eventually. Shadow is currently taking all my time.
Okay. Okay. But Lime, so
Yes.
thoughts on this?
Thoughts?
Is it the same generations that people know and love? Is it apart from the frame rate? In some cases, it's improved.
Let me be wild
Ooh, please be wild.
and say that this is more a remake than it is a remaster.
Mhm.
You're gonna think I'm crazy when I say that.
Ah.
It's not a remake.
Please explain.
It's not a remaster, but it's more a remake than it is a remaster.
Okay.
And what I
Go
mean
on.
by that is that I looked at comparisons. Like I have both versions of the game, so I took some screenshots to see the difference. Like if there's actually like a real difference that would justify calling it a remaster. I don't think that you can call this a remaster. This is not a remaster in my book. Like the colors are more saturated. That's basically it. Can you find the screenshots?
I'm trying to. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just.
because like I can
Wait.
continue talking.
Yeah, please do. Please do. People love that.
What? Wow.
No, I'm serious. I'm being serious now. I'm not being sarcastic. No,
Everybody
people
loves Lime talking. Everybody knows people like to hear Lime talk, so please go ahead.
I
No,
know
but
that sounded bad.
What I
but
was
no.
going to say
Yes.
is that, yes, as Argick said, they have revised the dialogue, and not only the dialogue. Like, for example, in the original, at the party, you see Amy. You see Sonic, but basically having his face on Amy's head as Amy's trying to get to him in the party in the original. Now in the remake, here is Amy holding up 2 cupcakes, one pink and one blue, and Sonic just doesn't see it.
And
'cause
he
he's talking
shoots
to
her.
someone else. No, that's
No
not what happened.
spoilers.
So like it's not only changes in the dialogue, it's like things like the animation is different, that tells a different story. Tails no longer says that he says that Green Hill doesn't look familiar to him.
It's like, this is Green Hill, right?
It was like, no, this is Green Hill. No, it doesn't look familiar to me. That was the original.
Yeah.
In this case, in this remake, he doesn't do that.
Okay.
And
I think it's Chemical Plant that changes as well.
Yes, not as much, but it's definitely a lot more in the feel of, yeah, we know what this is. There is no need like pretending that we don't know what this is. One change that I thought was interesting, and like this doesn't really matter, but it just stuck in my head that at basically the end, before the final boss, the Eggman. The Eggman, like the modern Eggman, reveals himself, and the Tails in the original says something like, "Oh, Eggman, but how?" And then classical Eggman reveals himself like he had a little help. But now Tails says,
Dr.
Eggman,
Robotnik.
No, it's still like Eggman, no wonder.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, oh, of course it's Eggman. Like there's no question there. So now Robotnik's, like classical Robotnik's, tone of the response changes. It's still, he had a little help, but now it's more like, hello, he had a little help. Like it's not only
Didn't notice
the modern
that.
Eggman.
Okay.
Like you hear even like the difference in the delivery of the voice acting that makes it feel more like he had a little help.
Mhm.
Like I'm also here, basically, and just small things like that can make such a
Okay.
big difference.
Yeah.
So basically,
Didn't notice
ego.
that. Yeah.
I want attention too.
Okay. And
So-
speaking of differences, so you sent me these screenshots. So this is, I don't know which one this is. I think this is old gens.
I mean, have
And this is-
a guess. Like look at the images and have a guess.
I can tell you because I know, and I know because of one reason, and I'd be interested to know if I'm
because of
actually
the
right.
lives. Because
Yeah,
of the
because
lives.
of the lives.
It is.
Yeah.
It's because of
Yeah.
the lives. Yeah.
No, I wasn't looking at that. I was just looking at like the quills.
Yeah.
So Sonic's upper spike has been extended a little bit in
Yes.
right. I can't put them side by side. No, I don't have the technology. That's too advanced for me. I apologize.
Yeah.
but you can see here if I
Yeah, the top spike. is
the
different.
top spike, the top quill is like a little bit longer.
Yeah.
No, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, it
difference
is.
that I noticed
It-
actually.
it's longer, and like you,
Yeah.
you also see that the contrast is a little higher in the remake, and the colors a little more
Yeah, it's
saturated
less washed
as
out.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah. In this particular example, like it's not always like this, but in this particular example, I feel like this makes the shot feel a little bit over what's it called, like camera terms, overexposed.
Okay.
If I look at the grass, I see less details in the remake now because it's a little too bright, which is
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. That's a good point.
But
That's a good point. Yeah.
other than that, like we have a darker part as well, and in that case, the remake is darker.
Maybe
So like dark parts, it's darker in the remake, and light
like-
parts
it's like
is
OLED.
lighter in the remake. Sorry,
it's OLED now.
it's
So
OLED. Yeah,
you have the classic one or the
Yeah.
original one, and now
Yeah.
the newer one it's
Yeah.
definitely darker.
Yeah, it's definitely darker as you're going in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So yeah, so like
Definitely.
the differences is definitely not in resolution or like updated models or anything, but yeah, the colors
mhm.
and a little bit
Feels
the
all right.
lighting.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That the colors feel so right.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. Overall, though, nothing that will change your experience, right?
Yeah, no,
So
no,
it's not something
definitely
that
not. Like I wouldn't even notice these things if I didn't look side by side.
yeah. It controls the same. So what I said before about I like the very beginning about Shadow Generations, highlighting the flaws of Sonic Generations. So the way that Shadow controls is, I wouldn't say perfect because that there's no thing as perfect, but it's much closer to perfection than modern Sonic or even classic Sonic for that matter. But for example, just like the homing attack, like the how can I put this? Like the radius of the homing attack,
Mhm.
it's much easier. Shadow can home in on enemies in many directions, so it doesn't matter if he's like straight, looking straight at the enemy. If he's like to the side or something, or they're a little bit further. It's okay. He can still home in, and you can press the button and go. Here, it's where in generations, in Sonic generations, modern Sonic doesn't have that level of control. It's much easier to fail and to not be able to get to a platform or a spring or an enemy because you're not really facing it or not
Right.
exactly where you're supposed to be, where like the radius of of the homing attack is, which is normal if you think about it, because it's a very old game by this point, right? So it's a little bit of an unfair comparison, but that's what I mean when I say that Shadow Generations makes Sonic Generations flaws much more evident. And I feel again that it's a little bit unfair for Sonic Generations to be released with this extra content that is so much more polished, because it's hard not to draw comparisons, right?
Yeah, like because it's released together, you're thinking, oh, they'll be the same. No, they're not. Like, the answer to this, and you've already pointed it out, but there's a simple word for it. It's dated, is what it is. That is what worked back when Sonic Generations came out, and we loved it, and we ate it up. It just goes to show you how far Sonic Team have come with making improvements to this style of 3D control that Shadow just controls so much better. And then you go back and you're going, I'm getting wrecked. And it's like, yeah, it's dated control schemes. It's dated. Like, it's like playing Sonic 3 or Sonic Mania and then going back to Sonic 1 and complaining that you can't spin dash. Of course you can't spin dash. He doesn't have it yet. It's dated. But I will admit, I did laugh at some of the reviews that came out. A lot of them rated the game highly. Fantastic. We loved it. There was one or two that went, yeah, we're only giving this game like a 7 or a 6. It's like, why? Shadow's great, but you bundled it with Generations, and Generations is awful. It's like, well, that's because Generations is an old game. Come on. But you can't hold it back.
But I feel like that's a fair assessment, though, because look at it from the perspective of a person who's never played any Sonic game, or is just like
exactly.
Like
yeah,
a
you
kid,
are right.
Like a kid, right? Like a person who wasn't born or was too small, too young to play Generations.
Who wasn't born?
Oh no, maybe. Yeah. How old do you have to be to have played Generations when it came out? I said it's
okay.
Not 13 years ago. It's how old is Generations?
We're doing math again. Let's
do
math again.
Okay.
Sorry,
so
I was just like someone who wasn't born is not going to play a game. Probably
no. Who wasn't born with Generations when the original one came out? So never mind. The game is a few years old. So a kid who is playing Generations for the first time with this release will probably feel the difference. Will even feel the difference between this and Frontiers if they played Frontiers.
Yeah.
Won't it be strange? Would it be like, this doesn't feel right? We know it's the same game that we loved back in the day, but many people won't. So I think it's fair to
that's okay.
Rate the game that way, right? We'll just explain.
We'll make them play Lost World. It's fine. That's completely different.
Don't diss Lost World. I like Lost World.
Listen, it's got a run button. I'm dissing it because it has a run button. That should be the default state, and it should be a walk button.
Exactly.
Oh.
But clearly that's what I think shows when you move between the two modes.
Oh yeah,
right. You can see it's different. It's different. So don't buy this for Sonic Generations. Like we have Generations at home. Now we don't, unless you have you bought it back in the day. You now don't have Generations anymore. Thankfully, Sega let us keep Generations, the OG Generations, which is nice. Yeah.
I will actually say, I'll jump in there quickly. Like one thing we mentioned at the start, I was worried about the modders and that of them delisting the original Generations. Yeah. They did unfortunately delist it. You cannot buy the original one on Steam anymore. But as a concession, they did stick it in a special bundle that you can buy. So it is still available. You've just got to buy it in a bundle instead, which, to be fair, regularly goes on sale and is really good value when it does.
I forgot about the bundle.
So there is still ways to do it, which is it's a concession. It's a 50-50, but it's better than not having it at all. So I'm glad they took our worries to heart on that and went, okay, we'll find a way to keep it for you so you can keep these 12, 13 years of mods and fan games still through it. And they're still available, which is very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, sorry, could you just excuse me for a moment? You just keep talking.
For sure.
I'll just be back.
Yeah, all good.
Okay. And so, yeah, that's for Generations. So Generations is what it is, right?
It is.
It's the same thing mostly, and it's good. And let's be honest, it's good. Just
Yes.
don't compare it to Shadow Generations, because that's not what you're supposed to do.
I mean, you'll get whiplash. That's basically it. You'll get whiplash. Like, it's very different. If you do Shadow Generations to Frontiers or Frontiers to Shadow Gens, you'll be fine.
Yep.
If you do Generations to like Unleashed, you'll be okay. Like, they're similar. But yeah, if you, it's just like going back, you know. As we
Yeah,
say, it's
you
dated,
get
so.
you get the drop dash, if that's not that it matters too much. Maybe for speedrunners, Argick. I don't know.
I've
Maybe?
not jumped
You
in on it
haven't-
yet.
you haven't tried
I
it,
will
yeah.
say it's going to be unlikely because the spin dash is busted. I love my spin dash, but spin dash lets me go nyum.
That's
So-
true. Yeah. Okay. One thing that I wanted to mention, because I don't think we need to talk about Sonic Generations that much. It's been said and done, and people know what to expect from it, or at least they should. But one thing that we lost was the 3DS version, right? With this new release, in a way. And so I had a question here, because I haven't heard anyone talk about this. Would you have preferred to have some 3DS stages
Yeah.
come to this and replace some of the original ones, or maybe added as extra content?
Added as extra content. Like, the game was already there. I don't know game dev. I don't know how simple it would have been. I don't know what was going on. The only thing I know from a technical point is that Generations is a modified Hedgehog Engine 1 game, whereas Shadow is Hedgehog Engine 2, and that's what they're working on. I would have loved to have seen the 3DS content come over and get the full 3D treatment. That would have been a lot more work. That effectively would have probably have been an entire second game to make. So I can understand why they haven't done it. But I salute ye oldie Big Arms remix on the 3DS. You are like 3.5 minutes of epicness in a 30-second boss fight. So
yes, that's true.
But I would
That's
have loved to have seen any of the stages
Yeah.
come back from that. The fact that we didn't, it's like, it was wishful thinking, but hey, one can dream.
Oh, Lime's back. I was going to replace Lime with this, but okay. But now Lime's back with us. So welcome back, Lime.
Thank you.
So Lime, I was just asking, because we lost the 3DS version to this new release, right? Would you have preferred to have 3DS levels replace some of the original ones, or the PS3/360 ones? Or like Argick said, would you want them to be released as extra content? What's your take on that?
I can definitely see them being released as extra content. And then like in like Sonic Generations, like modern kind of way. Like I don't think I necessarily want to see them like as they were, like on the 3DS version, like with the resolution and everything. But I could definitely see them coming back, you know, like a more Sonic Generations on console and PC way.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the release of the levels as they were as extra content, because I know remaking them wouldn't make sense to waste resources on that.
I guess that would also be fun, but like raise the resolution a little bit, like do something with them, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, what's the frame rate of a 3DS game? 30 FPS, maybe?
Alright, I would
Tops?
guess 30,
Tops?
like, I don't know.
Probably. So maybe raise that a little bit, like give it like a facelift or something. And do you have any particular, apart from Big Arms, which obviously best song ever, any particular levels that you would like to see here?
I mean, if I was allowed just one of them,
Just
Ocean
one?
Palace, bring it back.
Okay.
Like any stage that we want, or like from somewhere?
No, from the 3DS. I will get to the any
From the
stage that
3DS,
we want
okay.
part
Yeah.
next.
I've actually not played the 3DS, so like I wouldn't know like how they are, how they were done. there.
So you have Green Hill, of course. You have
Yeah, Mushroom Hill. I know you have
Mushroom Hill. You have Casino Night Zone from Sonic
Right.
2. Mushroom Hill is next. So again, no levels from Sonic 3 in neither of the versions. I would have loved Ice Cap, but okay. Music and such probably issues. Then you have Emerald Coast from Sonic Adventure, Radical Highway, which is a shadow level, but it's there from Sonic Adventure 2. Can't remember. I should look it up. It's better than just going from memory.
Going by
I mean,
memory.
your memory's
Yeah,
pretty
good,
I
though.
actually
Like, you've
looked
done
that
quite
up
well.
earlier today.
I was
but
doing a
just
great job.
don't
So
remember.
until the like Radical Highway. So the stages. Radical Highway, Water Palace is the next one from Sonic Rush, and Tropical Resort from Sonic Colors. That's it.
Right.
Okay, I thought it was one between Radical Highway and Water Palace, but no. I would have. I have a soft spot for Emerald Coast, so I would have loved to see Emerald Coast.
Yeah,
come back.
And like we already have Radical Highway now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guess the Tropical Resort could be a fun one as well. It would be
but
interesting.
you already have Planet Wisp. Actually,
yeah,
between
indeed,
Planet Wisp and Tropical Resort.
I mean, I'll take Tropical Resort over Planet West, but that's because I don't like Planet West. Like,
I don't like it. I don't like it either. But okay.
Planet West's tower can go away. I don't like that tower. Go.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the 3DS thing. Maybe I don't think we'll get it, but who knows? Maybe one day we'll get.
I think if they were going to do it, they would have made a song and dance about it. I think it's just a case of, it's fine.
It's like,
do you want those levels? Play the 3DS.
Exactly. Okay, so now, and for the final part of this episode, what would your ideal lineup of Shadow and Sonic stages be? So this is the part that we can go crazy. Not that we haven't gone crazy yet, but to be honest. But let's say you're in charge of like deciding what the definitive lineup, the ultimate lineup of stages for Sonic X Shadow Generations is. Yeah, the Fearless lineup. What would stay from the current, like the current versions, and what would go, and what would you have added? Any thoughts? Lime, maybe?
I have three stages that I would love to see added. The first one would be Night Palace from Sonic and the Secret Rings, just because it's so beautiful the way it is, even with the lower resolution that it has, and I would just love to see it upscaled and just like reimagined with that same beauty that it has. I would love to see Flying Battery, actually. I think that the cylinders that you run through could be a fun mechanic to play around with. And I just love the music there. And I could see them play around with that. And then I have a Joker card. Then I have a thing that I would love to see that's a little outside the box.
Yes.
But Sad AM, Sonic.
Okay.
Like the whole Robotnik City, to run through that would be amazing.
Okay. Nice.
I would love to see that.
Okay. That's different. That's definitely outside the box. Yeah. Okay. What about you, Argick? Any thoughts on that?
I think those are very interesting choices. Like that last one, it's a curveball and a half. That's really good.
I mean, Casey wanted us to go wild with it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go wild with it. I'm gonna think outside the box here.
Go for it.
For sure. I'll definitely, for me, one thing that I would do from like the original one, since the days of the original one, even if we had it on 3DS, I would have loved Emerald Coast instead of Speed Highway. I get it's a city-based level, so it's different, I know, but you already had City Escape and I guess Crisis City.
Yeah.
Although different, Rooftop Run is definitely different. So I don't think that counts as a city level in a way. But instead of Speed Highway, Emerald Coast, for me, that's more iconic in terms of what that represented the Sonic Adventure game. If you want to choose one from that game, I would go with Emerald Coast and have like the whale chase and stuff, which is in the 3DS, but it's not the same. Not the same like visual spectacle that it would have been if we had it in the mainline game. I would have gotten rid of Planet Wisp for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Not really a favorite of mine. And if I had to go with a Sonic Colors one, I don't know. Tropical Resort would be interesting. I love the music for Aquarium Park.
Yeah.
I love that. I don't
It's
think the
awesome.
level
It is
is
awesome.
as good as the music though. So maybe what is the is it Asteroid Coaster?
Asteroid Coaster. Yeah.
That would have been interesting, maybe like the sense of speed and stuff. That would have been interesting, perhaps. I would have probably gone with that. I don't know why they picked Planet Wisp. To be
Because it's
honest,
the home of the West.
okay.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. I mean,
I've
and I
got
mean,
nothing. Yeah, maybe.
it is a beautiful stage.
It
with
is.
the purple
It is.
water and everything. So I
And the
can see
song,
that.
the music is great as well.
Yeah.
It just sucks to play. Like that's it. It just sucks to play.
And the way they implemented it as well, they could have done something different with that. It's so yeah, but okay. It's
Now,
the one
what
with the
about-
wisps.
And here's another curveball:
Oh.
New York City.
Okay.
Yeah, a little on that there. Yeah, okay. I see. Yeah.
Oh no, that's not the right answer. The right answer for Sonic, for Sonic Unleashed is the right answer is to remove Rooftop Run and add Eggman Land.
Get out of my head.
I was thinking Eggman Land as well.
That's the correct-
That's
also
what I was gonna
iconic.
do.
Yeah.
That was what was in mind. Damn it, you're reading my mind.
Okay, so your picks, Argick.
So I would obviously you've covered colors. Colors, I would remove Planet West. I would probably replace it with Aquarium Park. But if I was going with spectacle that I really enjoyed, it's got to be Starlight Carnival. Like Starlight Carnival just looks absolutely phenomenal. It looks gorgeous.
Right.
It
That's
looks
true,
beautiful.
that's true.
It's so vibrant. You would bring that in. At least that's what I would do on that one. The rest I would leave as there are because I love them to bits. But what I would do is I would change Time Eater. And I would change Time Eater so it's not just a single boss fight that wastes a lot of time. I would stick him in Eggman Land, where you are going through sections of the stages and he is building Eggman Land or parts of Eggman Land, and you have to navigate through it to go get the hit on him. So it's less of a go and actually hit final boss like you do, but it's another just massive platforming level. And it would have checkpoints in it because I'm not that evil. But that I would like genuinely the only thing I would change from Generations outside of Planet Wisp is Time Eater himself. Like he's just such a naff boss fight. But make it where, or go if I'm not allowed to do the Eggman Land thing on it, make it where you are running through with Supersonic. You're going through kind of similar to what you did in Sonic Adventure, but you are running through the generations. So your levels will change. You've got Super is in a classic world, then he's in a Dreamcast world, then he's in a modern world for each of the hits that you have to do on him. And that's what you're doing. And each of the time, it's like you are racing to try and hit him while he's firing a homing shot because that has to stay. Like, I'm sorry, that has to stay.
That looks like a homing shot.
That
That's
like
it.
a homing shot.
That's
Is that-
it.
Oh.
What does that look like? that
A
looks like a
homing
homing
shot.
shot. That's what it is
That's
in
what
the
the end
outline.
is,
That's what
yeah.
the
Yeah,
end
Argick,
is.
that's an amazing idea.
But
I
it's
would,
like
I
you
would
have both
love
Sonic,
to see
right?
them do that.
Yeah,
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 you have
yeah.
both Sonic. You did something cool with Sonic in Sonic Adventure 2 with
Mhm.
Super Sonic and Super Shadow. You had the trio in 06. You had Burning Blaze and Super Sonic in Rush. You are playing a boss fight with classic and modern. Use that.
Yeah.
Because I
for
don't know if
sure.
anybody else knows and can explain it to me, but what the heck is classic actually supposed to do in Time Eater? You can throw him, but
throw
he
him.
does
Yes,
nothing.
thank you.
Nothing,
Thank you.
exactly,
I have
exactly,
no idea. Like, I
exactly.
never go into 2D mode because I don't know the point of it. Like,
No,
why?
I think it's when he stops time. You're supposed to change to the other perspective, right?
Yeah,
you
but then it's
can't.
like nothing
That's it.
You
happens.
don't
And
do
that's
that.
it.
Like, you move perspective when he moves perspective because
That's
you're
true.
chasing him down.
Yeah,
When you
but it's the same
physically
thing.
hold the X or the A button,
Oh,
you charge Sonic up and launch him.
doesn't do
What
anything.
does it do?
No. Yeah,
Nothing.
I have
like,
that question too.
I think I've been able to hit the Time Meter actually like once in the 2D mode.
But
So like
you-
I think it's possible, but
Maybe.
You really have to be like
It's-
in front of him without anything in the way, perhaps.
Maybe.
yeah,
I don't know. It's just
but,
something I've
but like the
never figured
design
out.
of it is like this is useless. Why did I get here? Like the
Yeah.
game told me to change. Why? Like I'm just gonna go back again, and like I might as well stay in 3D and just collect rings in
Mhm,
that case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like the idea that he is eating time, he has made white space, he has been absorbing these part of the levels, fly through them, make it a spectacle,
Yeah,
make it
or
a fight, make
make
it like
him-
the
make him
Doomsday Chase.
Have like portals that move through different parts of even the stages that you've been in.
Exactly.
But
and
this
just,
would
you
be a
didn't
good
do
way
any
to
of
like
that.
get call outs to other parts of other stages. in
I wonder if they
previous
maybe
games.
didn't do that because of technical limitations.
I mean, it might have been, yeah.
Possible,
As again, this was
possible.
like 10, 12, 14 years ago. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
It's still just, it's one of the weaker super fights, unfortunately.
Mm.
For Shadow Gens, I wouldn't change anything. I'd leave the levels as they are. I would add, obviously, Black Comet. I think not having any shadow levels in there is a mistake. I would have loved to have seen it, but I think for everything that's going on, having Black Comet appear would be a really fun one because that's where Black Doom gets all the power from, or used to. So bring that in.
Now it's
and just
Radical
add it as
Highway,
an extra
apparently.
level.
Now he gets the power from Radical Highway.
Yeah.
I kind of understand why they went with Radical Highway. Like it's the first stage, and
It's an
everything.
iconic stage.
Yeah,
No, so that's what Argick said. Don't
Like,
remove.
don't change any of
don't
it.
change anything. Add something. I would have
Yeah.
changed. I would have changed. If there's an explanation for Chaos Island,
It's there.
okay.
Whether you accept it is up to
Okay,
you. Like, I can
okay.
understand you change it. Like, I'm not saying don't change it.
I,
Do you wanna
if
change
the
it? Feel
explanation
free.
is good enough, I would probably keep it. I would remove Sunset Heights then, because I know it's not a Shadow game. Shadow doesn't really play that much. I mean, he meets Infinite, and he's the reason why Infinite becomes Infinite, right? But
I am not weak. I
Yeah.
am not weak.
but other than that,
all right. Oh my god.
yeah. But other than that, it's not really a Shadow game. So do something with one of the Shadow the Hedgehog levels. I would have loved one of those Digital Circuit or whatever
Yeah,
stages. Westopolis would have been nice, but again, we have Radical Highway. We have a lot of Radical Highway in other parts of other stages as well. So it's
I mean,
basically the
Westopolis makes
same
sense.
thing.
I'm not sure if I think that's iconic though.
It's the first stage from Shadow the Hedgehog.
It's the first,
That's
yeah.
probably the one that
Yeah.
everyone played.
Is that enough though? I'm not sure.
I'm being
It's too similar thematically to Radical
Yeah,
Highway, which is
it
why they
is.
wouldn't have done it. But
yeah.
it's just a shame that his own standalone game doesn't really get representation in a level. It does
Yeah,
get
they should definitely
representation.
have a stage from that. Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That I
It does
agree
get representation, but not exactly in the form of one main stage. So
Yeah.
I think it's got some variety to it. Like the stages in Shadow the Hedgehog have some variety. like the digital circuit things. They are different. I don't know what they could have done with those that would have made them interesting. Even if they would they could have been parts of other stages somehow, and you would somehow have to go through the circuits and stuff. Maybe, but more call outs to that particular game, or give Shadow a gun.
That's never happening. I've seen the interview. He doesn't need a gun.
He is the gun.
Like he is the he is the gun.
He is the weapon
as well. I surmise that black arms are able to make weapons from their bodies. Therefore, I surmise you should be able to make a gun. It's like, I love you, but no.
Have you seen that bit of dialogue, Lime?
Yeah.
With Omega?
Sorry,
I love it. Listen,
Omega says, because Shadow is part Black Arms. Black Arms create their own weapons from their they're like organic. So he surmises that Shadow can probably create his own gun from like organically as well. From like
where is
grow
this
a gun arm.
Speak to Omega.
Yeah, Omega says.
Oh, in
that.
Shadow Generations.
Yeah.
Oh,
in White Space.
I got it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool lore speaking to the characters in Shadow Gens. Like, speak to them both normally and when Doom mode is on. Like, they say different things. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
But yeah, just also watch the animation. Omega gets so much love in there. It's so good.
I called it.
Good. I called him.
I love it.
Oh.
Awesome. Okay, so I think we're about to wrap up things here, guys. Any extra comments that we or anything that we missed about Sonic X Shadow Generations?
I think it's everything.
So we good. Play it, enjoy it, have fun with it. It's the main thing.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is another slam dunk for Sega, for Sonic Team, which is nice.
It's good.
It's nice. It's nice to see that they were able to, and the games are getting consistently better. Especially if we're talking about 3D games, like Superstars is not consensual, but I think not everyone likes that game. I like it. I personally like it, but I know it's not
fine.
Yeah,
it's good, but it's got its weak points.
It's got its flaws. I can agree with that. Yeah. And this is where Sonic seems to be moving towards, right? So Frontiers, Shadow Generations seems like a natural progression. So I'm really excited to see what happens next with.
I'm excited as
Frontiers
well.
2
we don't know what it'll be. Who knows? They've just finished one. Let them rest, and then they can do player.
Hopefully
I
they take their time.
love the direction that they're taking the series now. This is so much what I want to see, and even not only what I want to see, but it gives me things that I didn't know that I wanted to see, and it's all up my alley, and I love it. Please continue in this direction.
Okay, please, Sonic Team, listen to Lime. Okay.
Yes, if there's someone you should listen to, it's definitely Lime. Like, come on.
Exactly. Okay. Again, what does that look like? No one.
That looks like a homing shot.
Thank you very much.
Right.
And that's the annoying part of Sonic Generations. That's more annoying than Omo Chow.
Yeah.
How many times, in how many ways can they say that in the same boss fight?
And every single time
Single time. Every single character. So every single voice actor recorded at least 2 versions of that line. That looks like a homing shot, and I think it looks like a homing shot. And if that hits you, it's gonna go after you, or it's gonna chase you. I don't know. Yeah. They say the same thing. Why? I mean, rant over. That's the annoying part. Now I get it. That's why I think Sonic Generations is overrated, because of that. No, I'm kidding. So thank you guys for joining me. This was a lot of fun. And so before we go, people obviously want more of Lime Reversed. People want more of Argick. Where can people find you guys? Argick,
You can
go
find me
first.
over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Argick. You can find me on YouTube, youtube.com JK Argick, because someone took Argick, feels bad. You can find me on either of those platforms doing loads of speedruns, retro games, indie games, lots and lots of Sonic as well. I'm actually going to be doing a special event coming up in the middle of November, starting November 10th, where we are doing something called the Sonic Speed Play, where I will be speedrunning through the any percent category of every single Sonic game from beginning to end that I have available, including Schoolhouse. I hate that game. I reckon it's going to take about 2 weeks, or at least that's my challenge. So hopefully you'll come in, see your favorite Sonic game, and we'll have fun with it.
Yeah, definitely recommended. Yeah. Thank you so much. Lime Reversed.
Lime Reversed. That is the handle. If you go to Twitch or YouTube, you will find me on that handle, Lime Reversed. I am right now getting very close to 100% all home console / PC Sonic games. It's been a 4-year journey, and we're soon finally there. Sonic X Shadow Generations is the last game that we need to do, and we are so close now. It's a huge milestone for me. So if you want to be a part of that last part of the journey, please come in and say hi.
Please do. Please do. Yeah. By the way, now that I have both of you here, who's first at the top of the leaderboards for Sonic Dream Team right now? Because I know you guys have
Yeah, we had a little of 2
You know?
2 days there.
I mean,
yeah.
it's a daily thing. It changes daily. So
Yeah.
it'll be someone random today because I haven't done
Oh,
mine.
okay.
haven't done either.
Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be doing them anymore. I got all achievements. I hit the achievement now. So I don't
Okay.
need to keep doing them anymore.
Are
I
you
think
done as well?
I think that Sonic Dream Team is basically the reason why Argick is here right now. Because I just went into the leaderboard. I was like, oh hey, I'm like, what? I what place? Oh hey, there's Argick, leading me to talk to Argick and have a little bit of a competition. We didn't go very far into it because of mental health stuff, but that made me then think of you when we thought
You
about
recommended
you
Argick.
to,
That's true.
ask to get here. So
Very good.
I appreciate that massively. It's good
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Sonic, look, the Sonic community is great. I love the fact that I can bring us all together like this.
Yeah. Yeah. And I appreciate you both very much for coming to the show. And everyone.
No, I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate it. And I want to thank everyone for listening / watching, whether live on Radio Sega, Twitch, YouTube, or in podcast form. We love you all. And go play Sonic X Shadow Generations. We'll be back next week. At least I will be, with another episode of the Sega Lounge. And if you're a football, aka soccer fan in video game form, you don't want to... I tell you, don't want to miss this next episode because it's going to be interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say for now, but do tune in to the next episode of the Sega Lounge. Until then, Argick, Lime, thank you very much. Remember, go play Sonic X Shadow Generations, especially Shadow. And we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.